All right, guys, this is it. The only tick I'm going to take for today. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariel Ptolemy, and I'm going to document my journey. I'm going to document my journey to become a multi-level $1 million media buyer. This is day 0, and I call this the preparation stage. And in this whole thing, I'm going to tell you everything just about my background, everything, so you can get an understanding of who I am and what I do. A background about me, some of the goals that I have, some of the failures that I face in life, in personal, in business, and at work, and as well as what skill sets do I have and what success have I actually done. So let's start with like my background. I'm Filipino. I'm born in New Jersey, and then I moved to New York City. And when I was around like 23 years old, no, 25 years old, I think. I know I moved around in 2021 December. I'm actually if not a lot of people know that I'm actually was born autistic, high functioning autism. I was born with, I forgot what it was called, but it was something worse like developmental disorder when in a young age, and then I had to go through special ed throughout my whole life in class. I went through speech therapy. I went through therapy to help with learning disabilities and communications, um, as well as writing. I think writing it was later on in high school was out, but I still faced communication disability. One of the hard things I faced in life was I had a really hard time talking to people, like really talking to people, like starting a conversation. So every day when I walk around, in class, in middle school or high school, I felt like I was alone. I learned to do things alone. I also became really popular, but it's an external feeling. I like to be popular. I like to grab attention. That's really who I am. The spotlight effect. One of my old friends always calls me, Ariel, you're a spotlight. You always love being in the spotlight and stuff like that. Um, Now, let me talk about what I did um before pay per call. You probably everyone probably started out when they're working in at a sales associate at a retail company. And for me, it was Target. And that was kind of one of my first jobs. And then my second job that I had, I was a licensed insurance agent. And I was trained to go out in the field. I was trained to close term life insurance and help them invest in the difference and set them up in a Roth IRA. I would also be setting up seminars, so I have a list of all the clubs. And what I did when I was like in college is that I will email, I will call each club up and tell them, hey, listen, my name is Ariel, and I would like to host a financial seminar to teach you and your students on how to be financially well-being and stuff like that. So, and I had successes. I was able to get into Rutgers, Bergen County Community College, William Patterson University. I think William Patterson was a little bit tough for me to get in. I was able to get into Rutgers, and yeah, a lot of places where I would set up seminars and teach students on how to save money. From there, and then pre pay per call, I would like to talk about this is currently in 2018. I remember this like directly when I graduated college after 2017 in December. 2018 and 2019 were kind of like the hardest. It was the hardest thing I ever had. I was going through financial depression. My parents wanted to kick me out because I was kind of like a baggage to them. I was struggling trying to find a job, and I tried to applying a lot of positions and I was trying to look for something like sales and marketing, and most of the time it was commission based. So like imagine working commission based and trying to like commute from New Jersey to New York City, and every time and you have to pay like $8 to go to New York City and you have to pay $8 to go back. So I was paying like $16 each day. Um, so then fortunately I was going through my drawers and I found a business card on a call center in my hometown, and I contacted him like, hey, are you currently hiring? Yes, they were hiring. So I started off as a telemarketer, and I believe it was around like January 2019, or March or somewhere like that. And from there, guess what I was getting paid? I was getting paid eight minimum wage, $8.25 an hour for 3 hours as a telemarketer, and I'll be calling people. I will be calling people to like, hey, this is the Volunteer Fighters Foundation. Are you interested in donating? And now it's not like that, but it's like a little bit more aggressive. Like I'll tell them, can you do $100? Can you do $50? Can you do 25, 10? Can you please at least 10 at $5? So in less than in less than in less than a month, I was able to become the vertifier. And the vertifier, their role is to process credit card informations, and also I will gather their credit card, or I'll get their address and then send out the checks for them to fill out. And then within around a month or two, I became like an assistant call center manager, and from there I was over one of the call center managers. He was trying to go for medical assistant at a vocational school, and he asked if I know Excel. I said I do, and then I would take over the role, and I'll manage a software. It's called Noble Biz, and I remember when Noble Biz was like literally dinosaur. It was like a dinosaur software, so it took me a while to understand it. But once I understand it, and I was able to like, all right, listen up, guys. I need you to work on the breast cancer awareness. I need you guys to focus on the volunteer fighters. I know exactly which campaigns that gets the most donations, and literally every single day I will be able to get in 3 hours of people working, we'll be able to generate around $3,000 in donations. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I did. I also forgot a part where I used to work I was working at a university at William Patterson University, and I was working as a technology consultant, IT consultant, and one of the things that I I had to learn is Excel, and but it's also Excel was the biggest blessing in disguise. I was forced to learn it. I had to learn module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and that software, I didn't know it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a waste of time, and when it came to paper call, oh my god, it was the best thing I ever learned, and to deal with all this discrepancy, to deal with, hey, we could split in the middle and all that stuff like that. The VLOOKUP function and stuff. I actually participated in the competition, Microsoft Championships, and I mean, I got nominated. I didn't win, but some freaking 16-year-old kid won that. I don't know how, but yeah. Now let's get into the post paper call stage. So this is after around August 2019, and I know this company when it was started in 2017. I knew the whole story, and up until now, I remember when it started out with 7 people. I was one of the original 7 people that was hired in 2019. The company was new and fresh. It was like a startup capital, like startup, and I was hired as an intern. I was hired as a media buyer. I think they were really expecting me to be like a pro at like magically. They saw my talent. They understand that I like teaching people and stuff like that. I remember when the paper call Skype group was literally like that before it became all this marketplace and stuff like that. But then after 3 months, I wasn't successful as a media buyer in pay per call, so they moved me over to be like an account manager, and I generated $0 in revenue for almost a year. So I could have been fired in within a few months after I was hired. But I'm really thankful for you, John, for keeping me in, and this is how I'm paying. And now you're seeing someone that grew from being small to being like in the top. So thank you for keeping me in, even though I didn't make any money until 2020. So in 2020, two people that are senior were leaving the company, and that's when he gave me the opportunity to be the operations manager. And I kind of told him maybe I know a little bit. But I don't think he realized that I self-studied. I self-studied this platform Ringba, and I also studied Retriever. I had my own accounts. I was playing along with it, and that's when he's like, set this publisher, set this advertiser, get this revenue up. And like literally, I remember when open enrollment kicked in, it was doing so well. It was doing so well in 2020, and I basically quadrupled the company's revenue per day during open enrollment. Um, and it came to the point where in 2021, I was promoted to director of operations, where literally I'll just see him just sitting in the couch, like just laying down. Ariel, how's the numbers looking? What's revenue at? Tell me things. And I'll just tell him things. Here's what's happening. I'm setting up this publisher. I'm setting up this advertiser. I'm working on getting this set up. I'm working on getting this integration, this workflow. I'm assigning this person to do this and that. So you could see that I became really so good at. Now I became like a leader. I became someone that where I can manage a freaking company on my own. Like literally, he was, and in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, the company was validated at 15 million. We were trying to get the company sold back then, and then later on in 2023, the company was sold for 2 million, and acquired, and that's currently where I am now. Personal story about myself. In 2017, I tried running a media buying business, but back then I was like really inexperienced. And one of the biggest learning lessons I had when I first ran a media buying business is really watch your expenses, watch your operating expenses, because if you spend too much, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get screwed over, and that's what happened. I spent so much money on volume when really I should have used a free software for that. I was spending on unnecessary things and not keeping track of it in an Excel sheet. And later on, I racked up over $40,000 in debt. And in 2020, I racked up over $40,000 in credit in like debt, personal loans, credit card debt. I was getting sued by 2 creditors to the point where I had to file for bankruptcy. Yes, that's right. A freaking 21-year-old. I think I was like 21-year-old or 22 years old, and I filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 7, and I had to start fresh. I was able to get discharged in January 2021, and yeah, my credit score dropped. I had such a good credit score when I was in college, like around like 720, and now it's like freaking down at 430, and I have to work my way up. I'm still not even there yet at 700, and I'm working on getting that, because having a good credit is so important. You get it and stuff like that. One of the goals I really do have, I really want a high-rise apartment. If you really know about Lee, I live in a low-rise apartment, and it's like freaking, I sleep on the floor. I freaking sleep on the floor every single day. It's kind of like everything's scattered all over the place. And one of my biggest dreams is to be in one of those top buildings, and just like when I wake up in bed, I look at the sky, I'll just look at the Hudson River. I'm like, wow, I can feel the success. And this costs around like it can easily cost around almost $6,000 or $7,000 just for like a 1-bedroom apartment, or even $4,000 for like a studio. And I don't want to live in a studio. I want a freaking penthouse. I want a goddamn penthouse. My next goal is freedom. I really want to be free. I really want to do whatever I want with my time, and that's really what my goal is. And I think I only share this with you to a few guys, but I want to be able to travel around the world. I want to be able to travel to Argentina without being locked in at the office all the time. And last but not least is to build self-respect and to build respect for others. And I'm already seeing myself there. Like I've been sharing knowledge with other people. I'll be honest with you, I am not like a god media buyer, but I will teach you everything what I have with pay-per-call. I'll help you understand how to set up the technology side and how to integrate your landing page, set up the number pool, and be able to pass back those these UTM or macro parameters. So this way you can see it on your platform and know how to pass back the conversions into Facebook or even TikTok. I actually have some videos on that if you guys want to watch it. So here's what I do now. So at my full-time job, you probably know what I do. My full-time job, I handle the operations at the company. Recently, we've been building out an insurance agency, and I've been working with a girl named Mariam. She's actually freaking good at on the phones. She used to work for like an IMO, for Family First Life, and now she's building it all on her own. And we just combine the two forces. I help everything in the operations. I help with setting up the phone system, the PVX, getting each agent licensed in multiple states, and helping them with any tech issues. And she will help them in the front end, helping them how to close and close them. And yeah, you're gonna see me a lot more throughout the day at my daytime. I'm gonna be taking phone calls. Like literally, I'm taking fucking phone calls and closing final expense. And I'm also assisting her on closing a Medicare. I'm trying to help some other people pass the Medicare certification exam. Now during my nights, I'm a consultant. I will hang out. I'm a consultant, so I help companies. Um, I help companies like if they need help with anything, what's going on with their Ringva, what's going on with like tech side. And I also do build projects too. Like if there's something that I need to get done and I can't really do it during the daytime because I'm at work, then I'll do it during the night and I'll get it done. So I think one of my biggest projects I did as a consultant was I successfully built out a call center team based in Argentina. And I was working with a friend, Andrew Chung, and this call center is a beast. It's a master. I'm really blessed to see that. I'm really blessed to see that something that was like came from out of nothing and scratch is now something that can run on its own without me, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm also doing media buying on the side. You probably saw me trying to do it at the nights, and this is what I'm going to be talking about. That's really what my journey is to become $1 million media buyer. Um, instead. So now let me go ahead and talk about my skill sets. So let's go ahead and move this thing. Yeah, you think. Okay, there we go. Okay, so cool. So this is currently what my skill sets is. Like you can probably see that I am very multi-talented. And a lot of people were like, I know what a lot of people say, be a master in one. Other people was like, you're quit being a jack of all trades. What if I told you you can become a jack of all trades and at the same time become a master of one? And that's what it became, like a unicorn, like literally a unicorn. Where if I were to set up a campaign on my own, I can actually do it on my own. I'll literally set up the tracking. I'll set up the landing page, or I'll just rip it off, and then I'll switch out the pixel. I'll add Google Tag Manager, implement the Facebook pixel, change the phone number, install the number pixel, set up the tracking link, pass the UTM parameters, run it on Facebook ads, and actually get some EU sub IDs on there. Now, I know you may not understand what I'm saying, but really, I can actually handle that. But it takes time. Literally, if I were to do this alone, it can take me around. It usually takes me around 3 hours to get one campaign, like from scratch, all the way to the finish line. But let me just tell you more about my skill sets. So let's start with over here on the technical side. I ran servers. Like I think how I got into servers is I got into servers when I was in high school. And I had like I have a homemade server, and I was hosting a Minecraft. I had like and I never knew that this would be a business. I didn't make money, but I learned a little bit about how to attract people to come to my server, and I actually learned how to hire people out. There's kids that are willing to work for free as an admin, or be like an op, or be like a moderator. So I indirectly learned how to build like a team, and they will handle the server on its own. There are some kids that like freaking grief my server, but then I learned, guess what I learned? I learned how to set up backup so this way it doesn't happen ever again. Now that server is also, I know how to set up like WordPress, and all that stuff. Oh no, my phone battery is gonna die. Hope not. Okay, 20%. I'm good. Um, Setting up WordPress, and this is the start when I learned about WordPress, and I was attending every single week. I'll attend WordPress class, and I'll be helping these small business owners on their WordPress issues. Like, and I did like a talk on that one too, like the top plugins you should get for your site and stuff like that, installing Cloudflare to make sure there's no DDoS mitigation. Web developer, I actually am a web developer, HTML, CMS, CSS, JavaScript. Thank God for AI. I would have to do that on my own. I did it on my own without AI. But I believe it's really good skill if you're a media buyer is to understand some basic coding, because it's gonna be important if you need to clean up a landing page and you want to, if you're ripping someone else's page and you just want to put your tag in there instead of theirs. Um, that's web development. If you're asking me to do like React or like Node.js, that's not me. I have my own stack. I really have my own stack. But if you're gonna see me majority of the time either using WordPress with Elementor Builder, like the drag and drop and stuff like that, or I just started, or you see me using like something like Lanyard Labs, and all I got to do is just change the code, get it deployed, instantly done. Now let's talk about APIs and workflows, because I think that one, if you understand how to do APIs and workflow, you're God. You will do you have full control of whatever you do, and this is how people will maximize. They can take they'll take something like this. So the APIs, you can use it to build automations. You can use it to enhance your backend system. So let's say you're having a phone call and you set up like a pixel a pixel where you can pass that recording, send it to something like DeepGram or Assembly AI, and then have that and then put it into an Excel spreadsheet to give you like a summary. You automate your QAs. And using APIs, there's ways to work around. I think one of the biggest things that people are facing is the zip codes, and I figured out a workaround on how to get the zip code and stuff like that, and how to append that data in there too. The next one is prompt engineering. It took me. I was studying that. I became a master in prompt engineering, and honestly, I think prompt engineering is just like how you would delegate to a person. Like I'll do something like pretend you are a Google Ads media buyer. Your task is to generate highly converting ads on auto insurance. Write me top 10 headlines and stuff like that. So I will go very detailed when I write down my prompts, and this is a very useful skill to learn. Don't do like one sentences. Actually make like paragraphs for it. Now let's talk about marketing. For example, when I first started media buying in 2017, I actually started out working in the European market. I never really touched pay-per-call. I was grandfathered into Ringba in 2017. But actually Push and Pop were my first traffic sources I work in, because I didn't really have enough money back then. I would only come out with like $75, and the only campaigns I would run is like $5 per day campaigns on Pop. And and I'll be honest, I think if you're a newbie media buyer, learn to run traffic like this, because it's not only cheap, but it teaches you the fundamentals on how to set up the landing page, how to read the UTM parameters, um, and how to manipulate the landing page. So let's say this person clicks on the back button on the landing page, you can have it redirect to a different offer and try to convert that person again, or build up a push notification list. So that's where I came from. Programmatic, pop, push, native. Will I say I'm like fully successful? Not really. I did had one campaign that did over 600% ROI, running like Polish traffic or Romania traffic onto a VOD offer. And guess how much I was making with that 600% ROI? $2 a day. So for someone like me, when I was like little, I was excited, but now here I am, freaking need to like pay for my rent. Not really. So let's go ahead and move on to backend monetization. I think people know me a lot when it comes to backend monetization. Like, if a call gets dropped, I'll re-optimize that call, recover that call back in. Another way with backend monetization is like when a call gets completed, I'll remonetize that call by getting them in, to go to an offer or getting them to opt into a co-reg path. Now, backend monetization doesn't mean for pay-per-call. It can also mean for lead gen. So when I was working at the company before the acquisition, I was working with a guy, Joe, and we'll build something where we get people to go to a forum, and then once they fill up the form, we have like a backend. We have a thank you page offer, and it shows like a list of all the insurance companies. If you click one of them, we get paid a click and stuff like that. So that's backend monetization. Let's talk about front end. Now, front end is basically when you're buying traffic, and that's what people are thinking about when it comes to media buying. The front end is where you're buying the traffic and you're setting it to an offer, and your goal is to make it back out. So like, let's say you're running ACA, you're running Medicare, you're running auto insurance, and the goal is to make it back out, or even get it to be at a high ROAS. So honestly, this is one of my biggest goals. I really want to see it in, and that's the missing piece of me of what I need to do to become a successful media buyer. So Google Ads and Facebook Ads. When I first started in the company in 2019, I actually started out with Google Ads, and I did cold lead ads when I first started out. I actually want to thank Paulo Media Group because one of their guys had a course, and I actually watched the whole course on how to do it. So cold lead ads was one of the first. I didn't really get into Facebook ads until like maybe around this year. So I haven't touched that one. But if I were to go back, I'll actually play around with Facebook ads. SEO, I will not say I'm like the king in SEO, but I'm very when it comes to like building on page, off page, technical SEO. Oh man, I know how to manipulate that. It was fun. So I do have pages where I actually have live websites, and literally it's just getting SEO traffic. Sometimes traffic comes in, sometimes it doesn't. I had like an arcade page where all of a sudden I was getting European traffic on it, like people from Poland, and then I started ramping up the ads on there, like AdSense. But that was also my biggest mistake because if I put a lot of ads on there, the user experience is getting tougher, and later on it just went from being like 75 visitors a day to be in SEO to be like 0. So I learned my lesson on that. Now let's talk about operations, leadership, and project management. Operations is basically meaning like, let's say you're managing the platform, and your goal is to optimize the campaign. So at my job, before the acquisition, my main goal is to make sure that the publishers and the advertisers were connecting perfectly. And if there's any errors, I will have to fix it and see, okay, I need to see the call details. Let me check the call logs and see what's going on in there. And see, okay, this is not connecting to the buyer. Oh, this is the wrong state. Notify this publisher why it's not working. And then over here I have eMyth and the EOS. I would recommend you guys to read what's called the eMyth. It's called the entrepreneur myth because a lot of people wanted to become an entrepreneur, and people don't realize that that when people want to quit their jobs and they want to be their own boss, they're just basically doing another job. They're just basically doing another job, but they're doing more work. Imagine if let's say you are painting for a company and then you want to paint for yourself. Well, guess what? You need to learn how to do marketing. You need to learn how to sell yourself to other people. You need to know how to handle legal, have an E&O insurance in place, how to do accounting, how to ask for payment. And that's the reality of being an entrepreneur. So the eMyth teaches you how to become a mature entrepreneur by having a mindset of building a team, learning to delegate. It's called management by delegation versus management by abdication. So management by delegation means that you're assigning things to a person and you're keeping an eye on them, you're overseeing them, you're helping them learn and get trained. In management by abdication means that you're just telling them, hey, work on this, and you're not checking on their work, or you're not helping them. So leadership is basically what your vision is, what your vision in the company is. And when I was the director of operations, I had a vision of building owned and operated sites, building owned and operated brands, and having them get traffic to it. And because we built sites that looking nice and able to get traffic to it, we were able to get direct buyers to go on their site. Like, it's literally you build your own brand. You tell them, hi, I own a site called this site. Are you interested in buying traffic? And they'll say yes. Wow, this looks amazing. Leadership is also about training others to grow. And one of my biggest success, there's an interview about it. It's called Female Power Players. This is a girl named Michaela, and she was an English teacher. She was an English teacher. She was making $250 a month in Argentina. And because I grew her and made her to become almost exactly like me, to be like the operations of Paper Call, she's now getting paid US salary. So I'm really appreciative of that. And knowing that training people and teaching and coaching is such a powerful skill. When you teach a man to fish, they'll give you unlimited fish for life. Um, Project management is basically about managing the whole team, managing a project, and I had really good success. So like I remember, like the last time I was talking about managing a call center team to the point where it can run around without me. Another one is building a brand, and guess what I need to do to build a brand? I need to structure out. Okay, I need to assign this web developer to work on building out the layout. I need to make a I want him to make a replica of national debt relief. Here's the site pages. Here's what the site URL looks like. I'll have a designer. I'll have him work on building out the logo. Build out get the copywriter to work on it. Nowadays, you got ChatGPT. Thank Lord for ChatGPT, and you can use that, and then boom, it just builds it out on its own. So now BizDev, when I was an account manager as a BizDev, that's when I started going on like to Skype groups, and I was like, hey guys, are you looking to buy, sell, and stuff like that. So and BizDev doesn't just mean like talking to people. It's also going to conferences and showing up. And showing up is very important because the more you show up, the more you get known. And nowadays, if every time I go to a conference, it's like, yo, what's up, Ariel? Yo, I love your stories. I love your Instagram stories. Let's connect. Are you doing insurance? Are you doing legal? And then literally, that's how it came to be. When I started out in pay per call, it was so hard. Like I had to you had to learn to talk to strangers, and talking to strangers is a very powerful skill. Like and that's how you find like direct publishers, direct advertisers. Now let's talk about pay per call. I think everyone knows I'm really good at pay per call. I don't lead gen. I actually started out with in CPL side first before I got into pay per call. So like I'll do like link out offers to send the traffic from the traffic source, and then send it out to the offers, and then split test which offers converting well. Insurance is actually where I'm pretty a master in, because I'm actually a licensed agent. I'm licensed in life, I'm licensed in health. And so that gives me knowledge base in everything in ACA, U65, Medicare, life insurance, term life, and final expense. And it gives me like such a powerful knowledge and understanding of insurance that I know exactly how to structure angles and how to approach it. Um, let's talk about call center management. Yeah, call center management. I was talking about how I ran a 17-seater call center in 2019 before I was hired in pay per call, and yes, till today I was able. I don't know how I'm doing this. I built out a call center team in Argentina. Runs without me. I was building out a team of licensed agents who will be receiving calls for final expense. Um, and this is such a powerful skill. If you know how to build a funnel from start to finish, this is a very powerful. Oh man. Now, last but not least, let's talk about my success here, because I think it's really important to talk about what I'm able to what I succeeded in. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and get water quick. Damn, what time is it? I hope it's not closing yet. So let's talk about my success. Right now, I'm very fortunate to have no credit card debt. Unfortunately, last year I just got hit with a 5K tax penalty. But I talked with the tax with the accountant. I was able to get a refund, and then I put it towards the taxes, and I just got to pay around like $3,000 in paying off the taxes. Managing my finance. This is very important. Managing your finance is so important because it tells you to be responsible with your finances. A lot of people are spenders, including me. We're all spenders. If you ever see my stories within like last year, I will go to freaking high rise apartment, like high rise, and I'll eat out like $120 meal. Um, and now here I am saving money. I'm like eating now. Here I am saving money by just drinking a protein shake for breakfast, 400 calories, and then and then just eating fruits for lunch. It helps me lose weight and it helps me save money. Uh, and also I think another important thing with managing your finances is if you're using subscriptions, use virtual cards. Virtual cards allows you to set limits. So let's say you have Netflix. I'll have a virtual card to limit for $10 per month. I have a virtual card for, let's say, ChatGPT for $20 a month. And if that software decides to magically randomly increase their costs, it'll get red flagged and paused. So I have a ton of virtual cards. There's a site I recommend. It's called privacy.com. And that allows you to build a lot of cards to manage your subscriptions. And now instead of me trying to like figure out a way how to cancel it or call customer service, all I gotta do is press the button and pause. The card is paused. Living in New York City, geez, do you know living in New York City is freaking expensive? Jesus Christ! Like literally, I will spend around like $30 or $40 a day to survive in New York City. Yeah, it was crazy. It was freaking crazy. Like, but now I've been focusing on saving, and yeah, I've been living in the city since 2021 December, and I'm still surviving in the freaking apartment, paying $2,200 a month on that. So, teaching others how to succeed. You probably saw me a lot in the unique Slack group that I really wanted to help others succeed. And that's really who I am. Like I know there's a lot of newbies who are trying to get into pay per call, and my goal is to help them grow. Survive the investigation. Oh my god, I think that was the most craziest part of in my life this year. I already survived 2 states, and I had I'm gonna keep it a little bit confidential, but like I will see what the final word is with that one investigation. But really, it's all about cooperating with them and giving them every information. You got to listen to them. You have to be honest. If you did something wrong, you have to say, yes, I did something wrong and I shouldn't have done that. And at least you should be getting a less penalty. So I really pray that at least I get a warning from that one. Handling TCPA complaints, guys. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I seen a lot of people when they get TCPA complaints, they run away. And really, guys, it's not cool if you guys run away from TCPA complaints. You have to deal with them. You have to deal with them and pay the price. You need to learn a lesson. You guys, if you're running freaking DNC, if you're running like data that's not compliant, you need to take responsibility for that. And literally, sometimes I'll get on the phone with the plaintiff and like, listen, look, I can't, can we negotiate this down to $500? Will that work for you? I done parts where I will talk to, I had lawyers and I'll have to handle that. It's crazy. But like, literally, I think it's important to understand compliance and legal. Very, very important. And learn how to handle it properly instead of running away. I've seen a lot of people that just run away from litigations and TCPA complaints. It's not cool. You need to learn to face your fears. Accepted at an Ivy League. Here I am in Columbia University. That's where I am right now. And I honestly don't know how I got in. Really, I think how I really got in was I shared my story about how I became like someone who's been struggling in the few years back to now running a company, becoming running a company. And I think that story was how I got into Columbia University. And I'm very happy, to be here because I love the environment here. You're gonna see me a lot when it comes to Columbia University. Being the director of operations in less than 3 years, I really believe, and I really thank you, John, for training me and coaching me to be at this level. And now I need to give back to you, for what you have done. And now here I am. Now here I am, like influencing others and stuff like that. Training an English teacher. to be a director of operations, yes, like I mentioned, I recommend watching, reading this article called "Female Power Players" and read the story about Michaela. And yeah, I think it's gonna really it's going to be something that's going to inspire you. That it doesn't matter where you are in life, anyone can be at a high level. It's all about putting all the effort into it, and yeah, putting the effort in to be who you want to be. Being on stage twice. I was on Contact.io twice, this year and last year. And the first time I did that, I was scared as hell on stage. And I was like freaking out. But I really want to thank Adam Young for I really want to thank Adam Young for giving me this one advice where you have to walk around like this. Ow, walk around like that. And um it helped me calm my mind down when I'm talking to hundreds of people. And that was my first one. I was like, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dreamers of the digital age and seekers of the next big thing." I still remember that script. I really remember that. I remember the mic drop, and that's a memory that I'm going to share for life. Thank you, Adam Young. Um, and then getting a company sold. In 2021, the company was took the company where I'm working at. Um, in 2021, it was validated at 15 million. And then things were rocky. We were able to get the company acquired for 2.5 million. I think that's a really big milestone. And to be able to see, to be able to get, to be able to exit the company. I still work there. It's just because the company got acquired doesn't mean I'm gone forever. I'm still there. I just need to make money. So, um, building an insurance agency twice. I built an insurance agency last year, and really, I learned a lesson when it comes to running a Medicare agency. You need to be compliant. You need to be compliant. You need to have people that are licensed. And one of the biggest mistakes I ever had was I took on a guy who I thought was a Medicare expert, and guess what he did? He freaking messed up my license. I and hired people who are not licensed to do Medicare. And really, when they closed the sale, when they were taking applications, they were not they were not vetted out. They were just taking them without explaining the product. And yeah, I had to shut down the company. But then I'm helping a girl, Miriam, building up another company, and this time, whatever mistakes I had is to make sure that she doesn't make the same mistakes. And I really do believe that she will succeed in this agency. She's really good on the phones. She knows how to recruit people. She knows how to manage, and I'll be assisting her wherever I go. All right, guys, this is 42 minutes. Crazy, I know, right? But this is my whole story, and each day I will be doing something like this. Maybe either and the setting could be different. I could be in Columbia University, or I'll be on the phone. I'll be right here outside, and then I'll be having maybe like a 5 minute or a 10 minute conversation. My goal is to stay consistent. So even if I have to do like a 3 minute video for like that one day, that's what I need to do. So my main goal is to be consistent in showing people my journey, and 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 inspiring people that it doesn't matter where you are, you can become successful. You can become successful when you put your heart out to it, when you put your why out to it. And I want to thank this shaman Oswald. Last night we had like a Zoom meeting, and he was talking about building up a project, writing your 2 year journey. Well, guess what? This is my 2 year journey. My journey is to become a fucking successful media buyer, and I will do whatever it fucking takes to get there, to get my high rise apartment, to become financially free, to travel around the world. So, so here I am, and tomorrow I'll keep you posted, and I'll do my best I can. I will remain consistent. I will remain focused, and this is it. Thank you for watching my 45-minute video and my whole story, and I'm looking forward for you guys watching for tomorrow's episode. Thank you.